Hello viewers, welcome to my channel once more. In this particular video, I'll be explaining exactly how we can use a multimeter to distinguish between an NPN bipolar junction transistor and a PNP bipolar junction transistor using a multimeter. Good. How is that possible? Follow me. Good. Here with me here are a series of transistors. These are transistors. Transistors are they have three terminals. One of them is the base, the other one is the collector, and the third one is emitter. Now, what are the functions of transistor? Transistor, as you all know, are used either as current amplifiers or electronic switches, among other uses. But the main objective here is to distinguish which of this transistor is an NPN and which of them is a PNP. If you look at these two, they look very alike. One of them is NPN, the other one is PNP. But we cannot look at it this way and we distinguish which of them is which, except we carry out a test or we read the codes that are written on them. Putting aside the fact that we could distinguish them with the help of the code, we can use the multimeter, as I'm going to explain here, to do the distinguishing. And now, let's take any two types that are very similar. We take this one, and which other one looks alike? These two, you see, they look very, very alike. Very, very alike. One of them is an NPN and the other one is a PNP. You could see this other one, they look very, very similar. One of them is NPN and the other one is a PNP. So how can we now distinguish them? Good. If you see here, the symbol here, this is the circuit symbol of NPN. This other way, this is a circuit symbol of PNP. And this is how the NPN is arranged. The base can be at the center, and at the two edges we have either the emitter or the collector on any of these positions. So this type is fabricated by sandwiching a p-type semiconductor by two n-type semiconductors. So we can have this arrangement. We can equally have this other arrangement, which is another PNP. We have a p-type here, and then two n-types. The n-types are like the negative terminals of the transistors. And in actual fact, transistors are fabricated by connecting two diodes either face to face or back to back. As you can see here in NPN transistors, the positive terminals are connected together to form the base. Like you can see, if I connect these diodes like this, these are diodes. If I connect them like this, and then I've automatically produced a transistor. This can now be the base, this one, the collector or the emitter. So these are the three terminals. And for PNP transistor, I beg your pardon, we have the n-type sandwich between the two p-types. So you could have this arrangement PNP, or you could have this arrangement NPP, or there are this other arrangement where the n is at this angle. This other arrangement would have this arrangement where we have PPN. It is still another type of PNP transistors, which means there are two positive terminals, one negative terminal. Two positive terminal, one negative terminal. So for any reasonable connection to be done, the positive terminal of the multimeter, for instance, we are carrying out this test, the positive terminal multimeter must be connected to the p-type and the negative terminal to the n-type. When this is done, the multimeter gives a reading, which means there's a possibility of me having a reading when I connect it as such, when the black is on the negative and the red is on the positive. So there are two possibilities for me to have a reading. if I do this type of connection in any transistor and I have a reading where the positive terminal is stationary and I interchange the position of the negative terminal and a reading is produced, it therefore means that the type of transistor is an NPN. So this P can take any position. It can be here and the two N at the angle, or we could have this other possibility. We could have this other possibility where we will have the NNP. It's still the same thing. So when we are carrying out the test, we must have this in mind, that these three possibilities are very common. So now let's go to the practice. Let's go to the verification of all that explanation. Now, when I take these transistors, look at they are very, very alike. I will do this. So let me maybe take yes. I will do this. I place my positive on this terminal, and then I will take my negative here. You see, good. You could see if I assume that this is my base, I place the positive terminal on that end, on that terminal, and negative here, no reading. I place here no reading. I cannot conclude. I now bring my positive terminal at the center. I connect, no reading, no one a reading is given. So at this level I cannot conclude. So what I need to do now is I will interchange the position. I will now maintain the black here. I connect the red here. I have a reading, the value of reading, so long as it is above 1, consider it as a reading. Now I will take and connect here again. You see a reading, which means here there are two P types and one N type. So it is certainly a PNP, and this is the arrangement. The arrangement of the PNP. The PNP is this arrangement. You see the N is at the angle and the two P's are at this angle. You could see the reading is given, a reading is given. So that is PNP. Now I'll pass over to this other one. I will verify. I'll connect at random. No reading, no reading. I cannot conclude. No reading, no reading. I cannot conclude. So I'll bring my negative at the center. No reading, no a reading is given. At this level, I cannot conclude. Now I'll assume that my base is here, the positive terminal is here, and then I'll test. I'll go, a reading is given, a reading is also given, which means there are two N types and one P type. So this is an NPN. So this is a reading 2 N and 1 P. So the arrangement is exactly this arrangement, PNN. So it is an NPN transistor. An NPN transistor. We could see again reading and a reading. So this is exactly how we can use the multimeter to distinguish between a PNP transistor and an NPN transistor. In the next video, I will explain how we can use this same multimeter to distinguish between the base, the collector, and the emitter. Thank you very much. If you did enjoy the video, please subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you very much. Bye for now.